Today is May 13th, 2023. Happy birthday, Sean. 25 years ago, you were born on May 13th, 1998. Happy birthday, son. I just want to tell you I love you, and I send these videos to you every year. I send a link to your Aunt Tebby. I leave it open on YouTube so that you can see it. My purpose is just to try to communicate with you and just to tell you that I love you and to tell you that you've been living a life that's been basically a lie, being with your mom since you were 7. So since you were 7, I have not seen you. We've only talked one time. I've tried to reach out to you several times. You won't give me your phone number. You refuse to talk to me, except for just the one time you called me back after I found your address in Sacramento a couple years ago, and I tried to visit you on Father's Day. And your mother your mother came to the door, but she wouldn't open it when I asked for you. And then she began screaming, threatening to call the police, even though 20 years had gone by, and she still was playing the victim. So apparently you think that she is a victim, so it makes sense, right? So I'm some kind of abusive husband, I was a bad father, is what you've been told and what you've been led to believe. Unless you had it all together, you made this decision on yourself that I'm a bad dad and that you never want to see me again and that I should just move on. Remember you told me, just move on, Dad, just move on. Which is, I'm sure your mother was telling you that because that's, the language you were speaking was break up, like you were trying to break up with me. You can't break up with your father. You can't break up with your parents. So I know those words were not yours. So I wish I could just say happy birthday, son, how you doing, and have like a normal relationship with you, but I can't because I haven't seen you since you're 7. I don't know. I know that you're doing real estate. I know that you're doing real estate with your mother. I know that you live with your mother. I know many things just based on educated guess. I told you your mother lost her real estate license back in 2004 or something like that. She lost it because she committed fraud. So that's why. So I find it interesting that you got your real estate license now and you work closely with your mom. So that ties you together physically, or not physically, but we're in your mother's physical presence, but you're tied to her financially. So it's very difficult for you to break away from her. And she's basically told you many bad things about me throughout your lifetime, and it's kind of stuck into your brain since you were 7. So you replay the story in your head. You think that you know what was going on, but I doubt if even you would, even today at 25 years old, agree that a 7-year-old would have any idea what's going on. Because when children are children, sometimes parents will spell some type of candy. Hey, there's candy because the kid can't spell, right? They're speaking in code so the kid doesn't know. But eventually the kid will get older and then candy. Well, I know what candy is. You can't do that forever, right? So your mother has basically tried to keep you away from me, keep you from hearing anything I have to say. You have parroted her, and because what's happened, son, is you're a victim of parental alienation. And I harped on this. I've tried to send you books. I know. Listen, me trying to get through to you from very far away is going to be very weak. It's not even I'm not going to succeed doing it. So eventually, you'll have to learn for yourself what happened, and that will have to come at a time of great pain for you. Something bad is going to have to happen for you to make that have that epiphany. I'm sorry, and that's what happened to me. Something bad happened to me with your mom. Your mom falsely accused me of rape, falsely accused me of abuse, falsely accused me of abusing you. That's why, listen, when I asked you, Sean, what did I do? Can't say it. You don't know. Or, it's so painful you can't talk about it. But you live with a mother who was actually convicted of child abuse. And I didn't make those accusations against her. She told on herself. They got those charges. See, but her accusations against me were so numerous and so many times that eventually, over a 2-year period, I went from having a house, having your mom, having you in the house, to me being homeless, to me being accused of a crime over and over again. And then she lied to me. Listen, I can prove she lied several times. If you just If you ever look at the police report, and it's public record, Sean, you can see the report is a bunch of bullshit. Bunch of bullshit. Also, I passed a polygraph that says I never abused anybody and I never committed a crime. How did that happen? Sean, I'm not a magical person that could just pass polygraphs. Now, your mother will say, oh, but he's some kind of a psychopath, narcissist, sociopath, what, she's a doctor, right? She can diagnose me with anything she wants to. I'm a narcissist, I'm abusive, I'm some kind of bad person, I'm such a bad dad. But yet can't put her finger on anything. Your mother doesn't have a picture of a black eye. She doesn't have any witnesses. All she's got is her sister who said I stalked her. Your Aunt Tebby went in court and lied, so they had a double restraining order on me. One was saying I was stalking her, the other one said it was just, listen, I had to battle the whole Ballou family. Now when you have a whole family against me, so it's our whole family, Dad lying, Mr. Ballou lied, I can tell you exactly what that, listen, I can go through the whole case with you. I know you're not gonna do that, and you're not gonna trust me, but listen, the truth doesn't change. So I'm going to outlast the lie. That's all I can do. All I can do is just weather the years. She can say anything she wants. I'm the only one that has proof. I'm the only one that's passed a polygraph. I'm the only one that's went to counseling. I'm the only one that's had to move through this. And I went to prison for several years. For what? Do you think that because, what? Your mother and I were sitting in jail, and my bail was $1 million and hers was $50,000. Yet she was charged with more crimes than I was. So what they did was they took everything she did and they made me be responsible for it. That's why do you think I never paid child support? Because they took my parental rights away. So the bad part was I lost you legally and physically. And then I had to go to prison, but they couldn't get me with child support too, so they had to forego the child support. But obviously your mom and your family all banded together and helped you survive, and your mother. So I understand why your mother has lived the life that she has, but now she's probably very lonely. She can't get a man, probably. No man's gonna want to come in and take up that kind of baggage. Anyway, that's just how I feel. So this video, listen, what I've been trying to tell you is that we live in a female-dominated culture. There is no patriarchy. There is a female-dominated culture that puts you in danger the longer that you deny it. Because if you think the world is safe and that you need evidence to convict somebody, or if you even need evidence, because if you ever get in a situation where I did, and listen, it happens to millions of men. Men lose the custody of their kids 90% of the time. 80% of the time, women initiate divorce. You got these people get married, and it's women who initiate divorce. It's women who make false accusations. Men are out here. You can just look online, Sean, and you can see men having the same complaint I do. Listen, I'm not complaining. It's not that I'm bitter or I'm not over it. I'm over it. However, what is there? So when I have a son, you are forever for me till I die. I'm going to keep saying I'm Sean's dad. No matter how dumb you are, how delusional or in denial you want to stay, because after a while, listen, you're 25, you're running out of time to excuse it. I understand that it was not your fault that your mother placed these brainwashing and parental alienation tactics upon you. That's not your fault. However, it is now your responsibility as a man to overcome that, to seek the truth, to seek me out, to get my side of the story, because there's two sides to the story, not just your mom's. And I'm telling you right now, I can back up 80 to 90% of any claim I make with police reports, polygraphs, actual evidence, and there's several people you can call. The Wesley and Charles Pastorius. You can call Sergio. You can call my mom. You can call my side. See, you've been restricted from doing that. You have been alienated from the entire side because they will tell the truth, and then your mom's story, whatever story she's told you, and she's very good at it. Your mother is a typical female in the fact that she will use dissension. I think it's called dissension. She will use half-truths, outright lies, fabrications, and that's why your mom moved out of Sacramento and moved down to San Diego, because she had to get away from the people there because they all know the truth. So women have to, whenever they do something dirty like your mom did, they have to move out of the area to a new place so they can tell their story. They can have their narrative. I stayed there. I stayed in the Sacramento district recently. But son, I just, when I came to Africa this time, I came to Cote d'Ivoire. I was going to come for 3 months. And unfortunately, when I left, the landlord decided they wanted to sell the house, and they evicted me after I paid a couple months of rent in advance, and I was evicted from my apartment or my house in Sacramento. So I'm homeless, so I can't even go back to Sacramento because I have no home. So I'm staying in West Africa till the time being. I'll be here for a year. But my phone number is still the same. You can get a hold of me. You can leave a comment on the channel. You can tell me how to get a hold of you. You can just have some kind of I mean, at some point, Sean, even if I am as bad as you say, then give me a chance. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it reasonably. We can sit down. We can do a voice call or a video call. We can discuss, and then and if you allow me to, if you allow it, I will apologize to you for anything I've done wrong. So you're not even giving me a chance. You gave me 15 seconds to explain, and then you told me you didn't care. I know that your mom was right there with you on the phone because you were talking exactly just like her. This is what happens in parental alienation, by the way. You will mimic your mom's words, you'll repeat them, and then you'll get the story. Over the years, you'll just keep repeating the same story in your head, and pretty soon it becomes reality. So you have all your excuses, but you really don't have any kind of argument to even talk with me about. You won't have any. You'll just revert to insulting me, call me a bad person, trying to ridicule me. Those are tactics that your mom's employed because she has no argument, none. That's why she can't. She's not afraid of me. I've never been a dangerous person to any woman ever. Never hit your mom. I've never done anything to your mom. I've never raped her. I've never assaulted her. It was your mom who assaulted me. She ran me over with the car and then had me arrested. It's a fact. It's right in the police report. I'll take a polygraph. I've said in my other videos, I'll take a polygraph. So, but you don't care about that. All you see right now, you're just worried about making your life easy. Sean, your life is, because you're weakened now, as you get older, if you lose your mom or something happens, you're now weak. And I know that you're going to make every excuse in the book to try to avoid pain and just take the easiest path. I know that's natural for humans to do. Son, be tough, man. You're more than that. I know that you can be a good man, and I know that you can be a strong man. You did it because I did it. I left home at 16. You can do it. I believe in you, son. I believe that you have the mental ability and the intelligence to figure this out. I know you do. You know how I know? Because you're my son. And I figured it out. My dad figured it out. You can figure it out. Figure it out, son. It'll take a little bit of effort. The truth is gonna hurt a little bit. I understand that. You can do it, boy. I promise you can. All right? I love you, son, so much. Okay? I love you. I want the best for you, okay? These videos are not gonna stop. It's until the day I die, okay? You're my son. Okay, Sean, this first story is about a football player who is, I guess he was at San Diego, and they have now proven basically that this woman lied about this football player. It's not a question anymore, but you'll see that even if you don't get criminal charges, you can still be taken to even a civil court and sued. So now he's going to have to battle in civil court. So I want you to just listen to the next few stories, the next few they're not random videos, but they're basically showing you that we live in a female-dominated culture. It's not a question. It's not if we do or we sort of do. We absolutely live in a tyranny where women have dominated. And even if you just dress as a woman, you now have unbelievable power in society. And it's so ironic that you can get power just by putting on a wig and a dress. Sean, I'm telling you, bro, son, listen to these videos. It's going to explain it. And women will tell on themselves. They will tell on themselves right here. There's no women don't like these kind of stories, so YouTube won't even put my videos out there. So, and I don't care about that. Listen, this is not a monetized channel. This is a channel basically for you. I've done video games on this channel. I document my life here in Cote d'Ivoire and in Africa. Yes, I do videos for fun. I like to edit. It's just a personal thing for me. But basically, this channel is to communicate, son, with you. You. This channel is for you.
But this whole Matt Araiza thing is all a reflection of this female-dominated culture. Believe all women. Women wouldn't lie. They wouldn't fudge the truth. Yes, they would. That's how they're built. That's how they're constructed. We're looking at a woman at the San Diego State situation, a young girl and her family. In order to protect her reputation, she's willing to send men to prison to protect her reputation. So she won't have to deal with the fact that she's a slut and a whore. She'll send Matt Araiza to the unemployment line, destroy his reputation, try to send other men to prison based on a lie to protect her reputation. She won't take a bullet. It's not her nature.
Yeah, the news is an echo chamber.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 How many industries can you think of that aren't related to sex or beauty?
Not a lot, and that should change.
How do we change that?
Let women take over.
Most female-dominated industries are sex or beauty related, correct?
Yeah, that's the way things are right now. That should change.
Well, right, but why would women want to give up their power if they can use it to,
Because it shouldn't be the only power that we're able to hold in society.
Well, whether it should.
When you don't give women a fair chance to gain power, they're going to do whatever it takes.
Well, is there anything stopping women from getting power any other way?
Yes, men.
Well, I mean, but men also give women their power, correct?
Not enough of it.
If all the men in the world were gay, how would women get power?
Because they're fucking women.
What does that mean?
They're strong and better than men.
Well, right, but I'm saying if women couldn't use sex to control men, then how would they get power?
Skip.
So let me just get this straight. In the last few years, a biological male has been named Woman of the Year on several magazine covers. A biological male is referenced as a top-ranking female in our White House. A biological male was named the NCAA Women's Swimmer of the Year. A biological male is making tens of thousands of dollars being the face of womanhood for Nike, for Tampax, for Bud Light, for Kate Spade, and countless other companies. A biological male took home the award for Best Actress at the Golden Globes. Are we really still trying to make the case that feminism supports women when the feminists are completely silent and or cheering on biological men taking over the space of women? Somebody spell this out for me. So let me...
Men are quite literally more likely to be hit by a comet than be falsely accused of rape.
Madam, I'm sure you know at least one man who's been falsely accused of rape. But can you mention one person who's been hit by a comet?
This doesn't add up.
See, if you want to lie, you take it easy. Try not to make it too obvious. Or better yet, just tell the truth.
You're a liar!
I mean, you are part of the reason we don't believe all women.
Fuck their feelings. Why the fuck would we respect men? They're our predator. Like, they're literally, if we were put out in nature, they're the ones we should fear.
Oh my god, this woman's dog definitely stepped on a bee. Most men are not preying on anything except for Little Caesar's Extra Most Bestest and the gargoyles in Elden Ring. But I'm gonna let you finish.
Fuck yeah, I'm gonna manipulate them. If I can get, like, their wallet to be empty and mine and empty their pockets, fuck yeah, I'll take it. Reparations, bitch. Also, like, when I was making the mistake of fucking men, I didn't hear what they wanted to say. I didn't want to listen. They're dumb. I don't respect them. When I would make the mistake of fucking them, I would literally cover their mouth. Because I was like, boo-boo, I don't give a fuck. You're a piece of meat for me.
If you are indeed covering men's mouths during intercourse against their consent to silence them, I hope you get slapped with every SA conviction in the book. Something tells me you going to prison would be a win-win for all of us. You can finally be in a place where there are no men, and men can be in a place where they're safe from predators like you. See, here in America, kids aren't allowed to have two fit parents, so it's going to become a bloodbath real quick. And if you do try to fight her, all it's going to really take is a couple of accusations of abuse or drug addiction to shake you off her tail. There are thousands of fathers in America today with joint custody who still haven't seen their kids in years because of parental alienation, and the court's doing nothing. However, none of that will get you out of paying child support, and they will order child support because the state gets a certain percentage of every dollar you pay, so there's a big incentive to order it. And because it's money, this is actually enforced. They will will garnish your wages, put you in jail, take away your driver's license. Hell, they'll even take away your hunting and fishing licenses. Wrap it up, boys.
That's the video. So this is just going to be one of more to come. And so you just saw every single video there. Listen, this is not an echo chamber like you see the news is. If all you do is watch mainstream media, you are going to get duped. You're going to be taught a narrative that just repeats itself over and over again. So you have been brainwashed by American culture, the society that they funnel in the news. If you are watching regular news and getting mainstream media, you are being left in the dark. You are being funneled and provided information, just like when you living with your mom and being around the Baloo family. You have been given over and over again your entire life a false narrative. I know that sounds crazy. I know. Listen, I'm the lone wolf here. Again, all I can say is I'm tougher than your mom, so I can weather out the storm. I'm continuing to weather out the storm because I miss you, son. I miss you. And I can't ever get those years back, so all I can do is say to you, listen, I'm trying to tell you this for your own good. I'm trying to wake you up. It's not going to be a success right away. I'm just going to play the long game. And it's not a game, but it's just life. All I can do is wait for you to something. And listen, maybe something will never happen. I hope nothing bad ever happens. I hope you have a great life and that you have a fulfilled life and that you have all the successes that your heart desires. I hope that you get everything that you ever wanted. But unfortunately, life is not that great. Life can be good, but you can only do good if you are following the truth. The truth will set you free. It will be painful. I know, son. I know it's painful to hear this. I know you don't want to hear this. I know that I'm speaking. I don't even know if you'll ever even hear these messages for sure. I'm hoping that you check in once in a while and watch these videos, but they're not going to stop until the day I die or until I get through to you. And if it never happens, well, then that's a sadness I will live with, yes. There's nothing I can do, but just know that I care about you very, very deeply because you are my son. You are my son, okay? That's the only reason I put on this video is not to hate your mom. I actually feel compassion for your mom on a level. It's very difficult to do that because of what happened, because she's never spoken to me or she's never tried to say she's sorry. So I've had to forgive her, and I do forgive her. And I honestly, I'm a little indifferent towards your mom at this point, but she's still interfering in your life. And if you don't get away from her, you're going to continue. You've got to get away from her to gain some perspective. You have to. There's no way that you can continue to live in that same environment and getting the same information. And listen, just ask her things about the past. Her story will change over time. You can't. That's the disgusting ugliness of a lie, is that you start to forget things you lied about. For me, I just tell the truth because the truth is it's costlier up front to tell the truth. Sometimes it's easier to lie, but then you have to cover one lie with another lie, and then it just gets very difficult. That's how I caught my mom, because I asked questions about my dad, and then eventually the story changed so much, and finally she broke down and told me that she did exactly all the things that your mom did. Your mom actually did it worse, but we lived in a different time. My mom lied about my dad back in the 70s that he was molesting my sister or something like that. She admitted to me that's a lie. She was playing head games with my dad. She was doing all the things that your mom is a very good manipulator of, and listen, it's not hard to manipulate a child. So you were 7 years old, so she's had a lifetime to indoctrinate you. I know that doesn't make sense to you because you think everything makes sense, but Sean, it doesn't make sense. Think about it. Why would I want to hurt you or to do? Listen, I make mistakes. I'm a human being. Of course I made mistakes, but they're not at the level where you should be hating me. You and I should have had a relationship a long time ago, and she was supposed to keep, but the courts don't enforce that. The courts will let a woman do whatever she wants without very little to zero consequence. So I suffered all the consequences. You're suffering the consequences now from that. Even if you don't think that you are, there's a piece of your life missing that you don't even realize, and especially when you have a void, when you grew up without a father. So real men, okay, a man seeks and honors the truth and follows the path of truth. You don't stay in a lie and delude yourself. You have to become stronger. You have to get out and see the world for what it is. If you don't, you're going to live in a cocoon, and when that bubble bursts, and it will burst at some point in your life, you will be left weakened and unable to handle it, and you'll suffer depression, you'll suffer suicidal thoughts, you'll have, there's a piece of you missing, and that piece is me. And sure, a piece of me is missing too, because you're my son, but I'm a man, and I'm strong, and I move on, and I can handle it, because I have to. What other choice do I have? I have to protect my heart. I have to do all those things. And and if I just love you, so I just would tell you the truth. I won't lie to you, okay? And when I tell the truth, truth is the language of love, son. Truth is the language of love. Okay? All right, son. Again, happy birthday. I love you. I know it's not like a joyous one, but Sean, I love you, son. Okay? All right? You can do it, buddy. I promise you, man.